Next. Okay, I just want to show you the end of this game because we were just talking about it. Okay, this is Tigran Petrosian versus Gabriel Sargissian. They're both from Armenia, and I mispronounced both of their names. But only one of them cheats a lot. The other one almost never cheats, or probably never has. And when this game was over, it was such a crushing defeat. What did Gabriel do? He went pee-pee in his Pampers.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a biblical reference.
What?
I just went down the wrong path.
Yeah. COVID.
I didn't even know he was playing in this, Tigran.
Not only was he playing, the other Petrosian was playing, Manuel Petrosian. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now let me explain something to you guys that you'll never understand. And I've explained it every stream. You would think Sargissian understands it. He's better than me. Now, Sargissian played me in the Chicago Open about 10 years ago. And when the game started, he wrote, Gabriel Sargissian. And then he wrote Alex Fishbein for my name. True story. Yeah. So I showed Varakobe and he started laughing. Okay. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right. Now, you have to understand the psychology, which you'll never understand. Never. I've told you guys 100 times, but you haven't listened once. This position, white has a big advantage because I have 2 center pawns and you have 0. Okay, I have another advantage too. You know what it is? Up a pawn. 5 pawns, 4 pawns. Okay, so white's technically winning. So Petrosian played double up on the bubble up. And Sargissian, who's known to not blunder, blundered. What separates super GMs from GMs like me is never blundering and defending worse positions and eventually turning things around. Gloria Estefan style, right?
What song are you referencing?
She turns the game around.
Oh.
Yeah. Turn the game around.
That wasn't even the original.
I know. But that's the only one that they know.
The Congo, whatever the Congo song,
All right. Now, since this pawn is attacked because I said so.
Her version's hard.
Remember how I said so?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you should play rook here, rook here, rook here. And white's winning, but the game would go on and on, right? Mm. They just keep on. And eventually, probably one of them would go pee-pee in their Pampers and so forth, right? Okay. Now, I want to tell you, I gotta tell you the pee-pee in the Pampers, but just a second. Okay? When I'm in St. Louis 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, etc., a lot of times there's several African-American players playing outside and trash talking. Now, what they don't realize is I was trash talking before they were born. Although some of those guys are older than me, so maybe not. Okay, and you know who I'm talking about. You know those guys. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sometimes I make off-color jokes because, what are they going to do? But more importantly, I made a joke, and I'm sure Tigran must have heard this, and so forth. Okay? And by that I mean he never heard it. Sometimes when I'm playing Blitz with those guys, and I'm like really crushing them, I'm like, man, I should have brought my diapers. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I'd be beating you babies so badly. And then everybody laughs. Okay. So I started with the Pampers. All right. Now, Karen, watch this. This is the psychology of chess. Ready?
Right.
Okay. Notice this pawn is defended. Mm-hmm. Then he undefended it. Right?
Right.
And he's rated like 49 million. So that means queen takes is probably bad. Otherwise, he wouldn't have played rook f1. So what did Sargissian do? He took it. Okay. And now you will know Nolan Hendrickson is the Lord when you see what he did. About 20 minutes ago-ish, I was talking about how I beat Nolan Hendrickson just like this. And this is a trap you see every day. And they were talking about it on the Chess 24 stream with Leko and Gustafsson. And Leko's like, you see this trap. And he's like, man, I'm always falling into that trap, Gustafsson. And Leko said, How do you always fall into that trap? You don't play chess anymore. Man, you got him good. And Gustav says, I still play some bullet. Okay. So are you watching?
Gustafsson didn't play anymore?
In slow tournaments? Yeah, maybe like once a year. Okay, so are you watching? He played the obvious move. And now, Sargissian probably thought, by trading off this pawn for this pawn, we're getting closer to a drawn rook ending because there's going to be almost no pawns on the board, right? And this is a trap that you see every day that they were talking about. They didn't see this game. Now, problem, right, Crush fell into it against Sabina. She was in time trouble, that's right. Hendrickson, everybody falls into it. Von Whaley's fallen into it. Okay, but the thing is, at this level, like I wouldn't consider Petrosian a super GM. Sargissian used to be a super GM. Now he's, long in the tooth. You don't fall for stuff like this. You just know it instinctively. Okay, so now the game is over. White's a play. He made a move and Black resigned. What move was that?
Well, I already saw a bunch of people saying rook f8. That was not the move I was thinking of.
Right, rook f8. Because you see how the rook is defending the queen? Right, so then you can't do that. So now if you move your king up, I could take the queen and then take the rook, or I could checkmate you. They're both good. Yeah, it's not checkmate, but it's close. So for somebody of Sargissian's ilk, queen takes d4 is incredibly absurd. He's too good to do that, to lose the game immediately instead of fight. So hopefully he's ashamed of himself. Now you could argue, since they're both Armenian, the game was fixed, but I don't believe it.
So nowhere, my move isn't listed anywhere.
Yeah, what's that?
I guess it's horrible. Queen h6.
Queen h6 threatens all kinds of checkmates. That is the third best move. It says number 3.
It's hard to see it from here.
Right. The problem is I play queen d2 check, and I trade queens. So you're not going to mate me.
What, you're going to do what now?
I'm going to trade queens. Check.
I was worried about the checks. Oh, I didn't see
Yeah, we're going to trade queens.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not dumb. Yeah. Also, you have to analyze queen takes e4 check, and it's complicated. Yeah. Okay. So, like, him not seeing rook f8 is unforgettable. Forgivable. Yeah. And I showed this to Clint Eastwood yesterday, even though the game happened today. And what did he say that he would do about Black? He said, unforgiven.
Okay.
Yeah. And Gene Hackman, who may still be alive, he agreed. Is Gene Hackman alive?
I don't think so.
Damn. But he was one of my favorite actors.
I thought he died.
I think he did die
I'm
recently.
Sure he died.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years.
Yeah. And so forth. All right. So that was an incredible blunder. Queen takes d4, and then he PP'd in his Pampers after rook f8 check.
Hey, Ben. Nice
Gene Hackman is alive. He showed you.
Hey, you can't comment on either one of our racks now. Come on.
They can't comment on yours?
No.
What? All right. Gene is 91 years old.
They didn't comment on mine.
I know. Yeah, I read the chat. Yeah. Bob Hoskins did die. Bob Hoskins always reminded me of that guy who's the greatest actor ever. Who's the guy in Succession?
The old guy.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Yeah, him.
I'm not as in love with him as you are.
Well, I know Gene Wilder's dead.
I mean, he's good. But,
Ben Kingsley, you're banned. Spassky's not only alive, but he's coaching Nepo. That's true. Brian Cox.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Brian Cox is better, but they were both great. Yeah. Somebody pointed out Brian Cox's great discussion with Nicolas Cage in I know the name of the movie. Damn. They're going to get me. Meryl Streep.
Who is
Chris
that?
Cooper. I already forgot. Somebody tell me. Adaptation. Yeah. Did you see Adaptation? Mm-hmm. Remember when he goes to the class to learn how to write, even though he's a writer? Mm-hmm. And then he goes out, he says, can you help me? And the guy says, okay, let's go get a drink. That's him. That's the guy from Succession. But he wasn't as old then.
It's been a while since I saw it.
Yeah.